fertile ecological region into a barren kind of place. 2014 was a peak year for crabs. Nobody had ever seen so many crabs in the creeks and estuaries around here. It was alarming. There were mussel colonies of at least an acre in size, if not 5 acres. I mean, they were big, 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 and they're just gone now.
I never even heard of green crabs before today, but I do get the concept of invasive species, and even if I didn't get that, your film explains it in a clear, concise manner that anyone would understand.
And it starts off with this landscape shot that I did not have any idea that Massachusetts had so much marshland and water, which maybe is obvious because I know a lot of clams come from there, but that's an aside. It just tells a story of how these European green crabs are almost an invasive species. They at one point show there are sandbags full of these crabs that are still moving and covered by a tarp. And there is a fisheries constable who says that if they were not actively fishing, they would almost take over. They'd be walking the streets.
I really liked the progression of this film. I thought that, with a documentary, sometimes people can think that they're really boring or kind of cut and dry. And personally, I like documentaries, but I really liked the progression of this one that you could easily track and follow, of explaining the setting, what the marsh is, or what their the locals, what their community is in a way, and then what the problem is, the crabs obviously coming in and taking over, and how they were not just that was a problem, but how they were a problem, what they were feeding on, what other parts of the ecosystem they were destroying, and then to transition to what they're trying to what they can do or what can be done. They can trap the crabs, but then you have all these crabs, what are you going to do with those? To then slowly trying to show this is something that we think we can do to help solve this problem. This is what we're trying to do.
So I had no idea that New England had an issue with the overpopulation of green crabs. So I definitely appreciate the insight. And if I wasn't vegetarian, I would definitely help support the she crab soup business. Actually sounds really good.
And it was a really interesting twist that they were catching them and eating them. I didn't realize that at first. But then I got hungry at the end, and I was curious to try some of those recipes that they were describing.
But what I loved about it is the fact that the documentary proposes a solution that combines the economical benefits with the ecological benefits, a nudge in the right direction.
Very cool.
Roger Weiner was really well spoken. He was a great person to speak on this problem, and I really thought that it was a nice sort of down-home film about the ecosystem and the way that this town handled their situation. Well done.
One great title. Really good, ties into everything, and just kind of a fascinating little story. Loved the setting and how the locals are, choosing to solve this very specific problem that they're dealing with. And I feel we got a lot of different perspectives on the matter, and a lot of different it really helped to color in this issue that's affecting this specific community. So it's kind of essential that you have to have different perspectives around that community to kind of tell that story, and the filmmakers did a great job with that. I really liked it. I want to try that biz.